Good morning. So this morning I have woken up with the song Judas by Lady Gaga stuck in my head, going over and over again. And I've been seeing the judgment card. So I thought, hey, let's pull some cards and see what this is talking about. Okay, so I've pulled out a spread and I'm using some of my own deck that I've created and the tarot cards. So we have dreams and visions, chaos, destruction, and the ancestors. So under dreams, to clarify dreams and visions, obviously this is talking about something that we're intuiting, we're seeing visions that we're having. There's a triumph, moving forward with divine will through loss and heartache, sorrow that hasn't been able to be moved beyond. So we're seeing something through our own ability to think and act with clarity, to use our words and our ability to articulate, without the rooster, ideas and concepts. So this is also, there's a man present. This is a masculine energy. It is a male. And he's somebody who's fair-haired, light-eyed, who's very intelligent and intellectual. And he's putting these steps into motion to achieve a divine will of overcoming loss and heartache that hasn't yet come to fruition, that we haven't been able to move on from. And with that, there's been chaos and destruction occurring. And as I said, the judgment card has come out under chaos and destruction. So there has been a calling to really assess what's been lost and how we've needed to come into a place of support through balancing out. What are we balancing out? It's a balance between understanding, between acknowledging what we have and what we've attained and what we've lost in the past. But there is definitely a calling. Yeah, see, Six of Cups. Yet again, as I just said, there's a sense of reminiscing and acknowledging what we've lost in the past. But this is also a card of youthfulness and innocence. So I see this as the children, right? And together with these three cards, that makes me think that this is about the awakening that's happening under this chaos and destruction, to really assess and acknowledge, where we've needed to step up and balance out. And then you've got the King of Pentacles here. So this is a man with darker features, darker hair, darker skin even. And he's stepping up in using his wealth, his ability and his skills, his material authority, his material strength to bring in this balance, with the focus being for the children, for the innocence, for acknowledging how perhaps in the past we probably could have done a better job. But yeah, this is divinely ordered. So we've got these two major arcanas, the divine will and the judgment call. So there's a higher power at work here that's calling this forth. And then we have the ancestors at the very end. So the ancestors are asking for collaborations and understanding what value we put in through our own guidance and our inner power and our ability to connect with nature and understand the divine cycles and the symbolisms that come forth to help us work with nature. But it's a collective effort, and we all contribute a little bit each, because there's awareness of what's valuable and what we need to protect. Just clarify that Nine of Wands. No, it's like there has been a hurt before and we need to step up into our power, work together collaboratively and contribute each a little bit to build something that's worth protecting, to build something to protect that which is of value. I'm hearing that song is connecting to the tribe of Judah. I'll ask about that in a second. Yeah. So protecting our heritage and what there is to inherit in the future. Our lineages. And we're just talking about the tribe of Judah. To protect what's of value, but like on a family tree scale, you know, the bloodlines. The ancestors are here with us now, working through this time of trials and tribulations, where we are working through with the divine will and being summoned forth to protect the children, to protect innocence, and to understand the failures of the past. There's a Queen of Swords with the King of Swords. So this is divine masculine and divine feminine stepping into a sense of power through their intellect and knowing when and how to step up and place boundaries and to be more calculated and more mentally focused on how to proceed. But it isn't without the heart. It isn't without compassion and love, because that's at the bottom of the deck. So it's balancing the heart and the head. And then after that you have relief and healing that's coming forth from the toxicity of the past, the poisons that we've allowed in our minds and our hearts. But there's healing coming forth through this. Tell me more about the tribe of Judah. What do we need to know about the tribe? That's too much. And this is all connected to cycles. Like there's divine timing at play within all of this that had to play out in order for this healing and the protection of the lineages to occur. Like, Tell me about the tribe of Judah. Okay. So they are using defensive magic. Manipulation of the different energies and resources to defend themselves right now. From what? Why are they using this defensive magic? Oh, we've got the moon again. So the moon's playing a big role in this event, this situation. As I said before, divine cycles, but there's also illusions that come with this card. The illusions and hidden veils. And in conjunction with the magician, they like to impose rituals and, you know, their magic around the moon cycles. So it's lunar magic, lunar worship, maybe even. So you have a Knight of Swords and a Page of Wands. I feel like with this, they tend to rush impulsively on emotions. They don't necessarily slow down to think about what they're acting on and how their actions will affect anything, because they're so caught up in, you know, emotional impulses that they just act and respond, and they act harshly and rashly without thinking things through about how their actions are going to, like, what they're actually doing. So what is the purpose, and where is this stemming from? To what purpose? Okay, I was going to say that acting out of fear. They've got nothing left. They're at their wit's end. They're at the final stages of their desires, and they've got nothing left. So they're just acting irrationally and throwing everything they've got at, with using the moon cycles to try and save themselves, you know. And that's the truth. That's the truth. And with this reading, there comes absolute clarity on that. The tribe of Judah. Because the song goes, what is it? Oh, Judah, Judah. Oh, in love with Judah, Judah. I'm just a holy fool. Something like that. I don't know. A holy fool. So these two men here, I think, could this be Trump? And this be Elon Musk? That's what I'm picking up here. So Trump has been the one who's initiated this momentum forward to bring forth and open this healing, but also understanding of this loss and the sorrow of what's been, you know, stuck on, which has initiated a chaos. And with that, there was a calling forth, and Elon stepped up to understand, you know, I don't know, you can think whatever you want about him. I'm just reading what the cards are sort of saying here and how I'm interpreting them. You know, I could be wrong, but That's what I'm getting, because this is bigger than just, you know, with the Chariot and the Judgment card. This is bigger than just something that's on a mundane level. What else do we need to know? There is a new beginning. We are stepping forward into a whole new way of being. This is Uranus. Uranus is about to move into Gemini. So as Uranus steps into Gemini, we will have a whole new way of existing. Something new is coming forth. And that rooster agrees. Something new is coming forward. That's the calling of the Judgment card, awakening us. The rooster, he's crowing, he's saying, wake up, put on a little bit of makeup. Wake up, time to step into your power. The ancestors are calling you, they're calling all of us. It's time to step up. So on the solar eclipse night, I was having a lucid dream, and there was a man who appeared before me, and I could just see his face. But as I'm looking at him, his face morphed into someone else's, and then someone else's, and it was like his face was constantly morphing into all these different people. And then there was like a line of all these people that this man had morphed into, and it was leading up into the stars. And I thought, oh, the ancestors are with us. Tell me more. Tell me about this Fool card. What is this Fool going to bring forth for us? And then I'll come back to the tribe of Judah. What is this Fool going to bring forward for us? What are we stepping into here? Balance and harmony. And that's like a major arcana in this deck. So it's the ability to flow like water animals, to be connected with water, and to understand the importance and value of water and how it helps us to keep balance. And working with the energy of the earth, sacred geometry, and how and where we place things, frequencies that come with placing elemental and, you know, physical objects to create grids of energetic networks. Sagittarius, exploring, learning, stepping into the idea of being able to gain more through money. Gold and silver will be of value. Then we have the High Priest and the Queen. So this is also about stepping into our powers, as having the ability to use our intuition and divine wisdom to express our sexuality and be able to hold authority within that. But there's also the High Priest there, so there's definitely more masculine energy, and there's a rebirth. So I'm getting with this is the rebirth of the divine feminine, the matriarchy, right? Rebirth of the matriarchy, and the males involved in this will be the men, will be people who are devout and understanding and know themselves as a spiritual being, and they have connection with the divine through the solar energy. Okay, so we've got lies and propaganda. What's that about? So that's pointing the way. Listen, if you observe what the lies and the propaganda are saying, it's going to point us towards achieving this goal. And at the bottom here we have Kundalini awakening. So all of this is initiating a global Kundalini awakening. As I said before, so we've got Cancer there. So it's through nurturing and feeling our way through the Kundalini awakening, which happens in divine timing to our ascension. I'm just going to come back to the tribe of Judah for a second. Okay, so they are at rock bottom. What are they going to do next? What's their next plan? So there's a wish, a desire to achieve. They're waiting on the next. They're going to sit back and wait until the next opportunity to have their return. Because we've got balance here, and then the Justice has just come out with a Wheel of Fortune and a Nine of Cups. So it's definitely feeling like they're going to wait until the next turn of events to try and achieve their desire for their own justice, and to try and rebalance out the wheel of fate. This is giving me, what's just come to mind is the precession of the equinoxes. So I feel like we are moving out of the Kali Yuga and starting to move up through the cycles of the Dwapara Yuga and all the way up. So that's a long time until it comes back around to the Kali Yuga in order for them to try and obtain their justice again. And in between, they will hold their strength. Judah. Was Judah connected to the lion? So interesting. The lion and the sun. So the sun illuminates. It's illuminating a great deal of strength and power. And it's also like the sun's giving me the golden age. I don't know if this is connected to the tribe of Judah. I feel like this is still a flow on from after the Fool card before, where we were talking about the Kundalini awakening and the rebirth of the matriarch, and the shifting of the aeons into that era, that season, like that manifestation that many people have been putting forth to bring down the mother energy in order to bring about that matriarchal energy into society once again. It's happening. So the matriarchy tends to be of circles where the power sits in the middle and everybody is around it and shares in it collectively, and that's balance. That's balance that brings strength and illumination and joy and pleasure and happiness. Power to everyone. Just a bit more. Yeah, because like after I was asking about the tribe of Judah before, we had the Ace of Swords, so that's an ending and a new beginning, right? Especially in conjunction with the Ten of Swords, that's like dead end. There's nothing left. You cut it out. It's like a surgeon cutting out a tumor. You cut it out remove it and you start to heal and move forward, there's no coming back. Okay, so there we have the Queen of Cups, and before it was the Five of Wands. I'm not getting anything more coming through this reading here. I'll just see if there's anything else with these cards. Because this song was just coming through so strong, I could not get rid of it. I think here on out, things are only looking up for us collectively. There's a great shifting occurring, and yes, there's been a lot of chaos and destruction occurring, but it's had to happen in order to get us back on track and recreate and bring forth justice. Is there anything else we need to know, Spirit? What about the people who have perpetrated crimes against our children? I mean, I do feel like they are meeting their demise. But show me more about them. The people who have perpetrated crimes against our children. Taxes and debts, they're paying a price for sure. They're going to pay a price. The Judas kiss. Judas kiss is usury. Yeah. So, taxes, debt, I build, and karma lessons. They're paying a heavy toll for the debts they've incurred. They've been building their own prison through this debt cycle where they've enforced usury to call us all goyim and use us as cattle. And there's a karmic cycle ending here. They are going to pay the price. The lesson is about to unfold. How will that lesson unfold? How will that lesson unfold? The protector. The protector protecting the children. The protector using his money, his wealth, his established position what's the father going to do? His father energy. How is he they will betray themselves. So this protective energy has been using their own egos and fears so that they betray themselves. been using their egos against them, so that ultimately they dig their own grave. You have detective, NPC, and then gifts. So the NPCs are the people who are basically haven't awoken yet. They're still operating as agents of the Matrix, but they're starting to look deeper and find the gifts within that they have, and to understand the deeper reality here. And I think this is also a part of this ego and adultery, where that energy has been flipped back towards them, and this is a part of them beginning to understand the steps towards the awakening. What are these gifts? The truth. The truth. The truth that is being revealed. The truth that is coming out. The truth that is the demise of this Judas, tribe of Judah cult. This false cult. It's the truth. The gift of the truth. Interesting though, because I haven't seen the cult card come out. Yeah, that's it. That is it. Okay, well, on a final note, don't let the media and all the bullshit stress you out. Because the science card is about experimentation, right? So it's about how they use media to create fear and stress by imposing ideas of control through legal systems. That's the final note. So the takeaway from all this is that there is an initiative at play here that is revealing the truth, the hidden truth about actions that have been taken in the past that perhaps weren't acknowledged properly or taken into value. But it's planted seeds to allow this truth of the perpetrators to come to light, whether they are the tribe of Judah or whatever. That's just the song that's coming in my head, so that's just what I'm calling them. It could be called something else. But the Judas kiss is important here, and the Judas kiss is usury, and usury, they use that to put us all in debt. But it's all being cleared now. It's all coming to light, and with this, the people are being able to reconnect to their ancestors, to their truth, to the cycles of nature, to regather their own empowerment, where we can collectively come together and begin to develop this matriarchal concept where we all collectively share in the power rather than the power being a top-down thing. And the children will be in the center of that. And there is a fair-headed, blue-eyed man and a dark-haired, perhaps even darker-skinned man who have been working together to bring this to light. They've been using their power of influence either through the mind or through financial possessions and status in order to protect the lineages of humanity. Because one day we will be the ancestors. Anyways, thank you for listening to me if you made it this far. I hope you have a lovely day. Namaste.